All right, first things first, it's been a while. Second thing, I have a lot of projects that are just kind of sitting around, and that's what I'm going to go over in this one. We're going to talk about what I got, what's coming first, what order they're going to happen in, and primarily, first up, what's going to be going on with my 302 Ranger. So, this thing is obviously going to be the heart for my Ranger. And it's going to have a Ford F303 camshaft. I'm converting it over to a hydraulic roller cam. It is currently a flat tappet motor. So if you do a hydraulic roller, you do have to convert over your block. So that being said, if you're going to go convert your block, one vital thing that you have to have are the proper lifters. You either have to have spider gear lifters, or not spider, you either have to have linked lifters, or you have to have lifters that are going to be held down by retainers and a spider bracket. So, what I'm talking about by that is this right here. So, this little booger bolts in the valley of your engine. Each of these go on what's called a little dog bone. Those dog bones hold your lifters in place. So it's like a lifter guide almost. This holds all of those down. Without any of that, your lifters are able to come up and rotate in their bore, and they're going to get stuck. Bad day. Can ruin block, can ruin lifters, send shit all through your engine. Don't want that. So you need to make sure that if you convert your block over, you do it right. You're going to have to tap into it if you want to do a spider gear, or you have to order linked lifters. They have a lifter bar, or like a linked bar in between each lifter. So, open the wrong door twice now. That's gonna be the biggest change up that I'm making in this engine, as far as like performance differences that it's really gonna be able to make. Reliability, wear, all of that. Hydraulic roller is gonna be a lot easier for that. It already has a dual plane intake on it. I will be redoing the heads. I do have valve springs for it. Brand new retainers. I'm getting comp cams 1.6 ratio rockers. Brand new push rods for it. I'll be checking all of the bearing clearances and just making sure everything looks good, checking out the bearings, make sure they're not scored at all. I don't know if I'm going to necessarily replace them. I might. It's cheap enough to order sets of bearings, but there's parts of it that you go break it apart, the magic of a motor all the way, you're going to ruin the magic it's got. So certain things I'm probably just going to check, maybe the frontmost and the backmost cylinders, just make sure that those the rod bearings are not charred up. Maybe check one of the main caps. Clean this thing up, obviously get it repainted. The front drive is actually going to be quite different. So for my Ranger, I'm going to be using a Volvo S40 power steering pump. You have to wire it up yourself, but it'll take away drag from the front of the motor, which I definitely want. Water pump as well. I'll be doing an electric water pump. The only thing that's going to be driven by the engine is going to be alternator and eventually air conditioning. Other than that, power steering pump and my water pump are both going to be completely electric, as well as my fans. So I'm not even going to have a clutch fan up here. I want it to be as clean as humanly possible, but also function. I want it to perform. The carburetor's also brand spanking new. Never been ran, never been touched, anything. The distributor is a kind of a Chevy style, like with a built-in coil, so I don't have to have an external coil, blah, blah, blah. Also kind of nice. Let's see here, what am I missing? Got the tri-white headers on it. I don't know if you can really see that too much, but right there. Let's see, I'll give you a closer look. So tri-white headers. Connect down there, run it, it's like 42-to-1. Easier way to put that. And I also have a set of BBK headers over here. So just a matter of what I feel like is going to work best with my engine and my Ranger and fitment and everything like that. But I think I'm going to go for trying the good old long tubes first. There we go. You're not as set up as perfect, but I'm going to go for the long tubes first, see how that fits up. Also, I got a steel distributor gear. That's another very important thing. Make sure you know what type of camshaft that you get so you can match your distributor gear to it. Don't want to eat up your gear, don't want to eat up your cam. That's an expensive fix. So, it could be catastrophic, could be expensive, could be multiple things. So, be wary of that. So as far as this goes, I will be doing the full video on this. I'll be documenting as much as I can, probably a multiple part series, going over setting up the valves, checking everything, looking at the bottom end, looking at the bearings, just all of it. I want to document as much as I possibly can, so anybody who wants to do this can do it themselves. It's a dying thing. Not many people are building a carbureted 302 anymore, sadly. But I'm going old school route, and I want to be able to hop up to no rallies, get whatever the hell I need, and rebuild that sucker on the side of the road. So that's my plan, and we'll see how it goes. I also need to get a rear end and a drive shaft for the Ranger, but you know, that's all like little tidbit stuff. But first things first, got to get this motor looking right, got to get it running right. I'll give you just a little bit of a better view of this thing, being close up. So as you can see, you know, dual plate intake, rated carb. The water pump is technically new, but I'm not going that route. And it's a reman block. It's actually really still beautiful and clean. I do still have a bunch of old parts. I mean, these are GT40 links and rockers, and I've got their lifters. I got the springs, retainers, clips, everything from those heads I still have. Now, as far as my other projects go, so this is kind of one of them. This is actually my first dirt bike that I've ever gotten. I've never ridden a dirt. Oh, I have ridden a dirt bike. It did not go well. I ended up at a barbed wire fence. So I've kind of stayed away from these things for like ever. I finally, you know, went on a whim, and kids around here have been having dirt bikes and ripping them around everywhere. So I was like, you know what? I want to have fun myself. So I got me dirt bike on a trade. Needs a little bit of love, mainly just to be regasketed. But of course, as car guy stuff goes, I got carried away. And when it's like, well, while I'm here, I might as well check and do this and that. And before you know it, I have a whole dirt bike torn down in here. So, but this is going to be fun. This is more of a back burner project, not necessarily in a rush to do it. Just a fun toy that I have. And I'm excited for that. It shouldn't be too much. This one should cost me about $500 to get what I need, get it rebuilt, put some elbow grease into it. It's not going to be perfect. I don't want it to be perfect. I just want it to run. That's all. So we got my 94 Explorer. This thing is a 4-liter single overhead cam V6. Those wheels are meant for my Ranger over there. I just, when I bought this and the engine went out on that, swapped them. And they honestly fit perfect. And they look really good on it. Like, the fitment's really nice. It'd be even better if this thing was, you know, lowered a couple inches. But for this, what all have I done to it so far? Let's see. I tore apart the top end on it. I had to completely redo all of the vacuum lines. This thing did not idle for crap. It was missing on 2 cylinders. I redid all of that. I completely did new injectors, new spark plugs, new plug wires, gaskets like for valve cover, intake upper and lower. I repainted everything on the end. Wow. Repainted everything in there so it looks really nice as well. Runs like a top. This thing is healthy. And as soon as I get it healthy and running great, freaking transmission goes out on it, thanks to the A4LD or whatever the hell Ford calls this awful transmission. So this is going to eventually get a manual swap, and I'll have to use the M5R1 out of like an F-150, or even the Bronco Sports that use the 2.9 liter V6 used a standard that would hook up to this, and you can also use the pedal assembly mounted up to there. and it's relatively easy swap to do. They also make the 94 Explorers. They did have manual versions. It's harder to find, but you can get all of your assembly stuff there. You can get your computers. So probably the most straightforward swap that I'm going to have, but it's not the most important to me. The most important to me is going to be the Ranger or that Triumph. So I'll go ahead and just give you a quick one on the Ranger real fast because it's nothing crazy. It's a storage unit right now, really. As you can see, like, we do a lot around here. We've got ducks, we've got chickens, bantams, we've got regular sized chickens, goats and pigs over there. So we kind of got a lot going on. So just excuse a little bit of the clutter here, okay? So Ranger, this will be getting the V02, this will be getting the T5, this will eventually have an 8.8. I would like to do a 4-link suspension on it. I would like to eventually even possibly do Crown Victoria front suspension. I'm not sure. If not that, then I'm at least going to do control arms upper and lower up here. And then do some different lowering shocks or some blocks. Just try to get this thing just a hair lower than it is. And obviously when I do the 8.8 rear end, I'll have disc brakes in the rear. So that'll be nice. I'll have to redo that. I do need a drive shaft for it. That's very important. I might have to get one custom made. I'm honestly not sure. As far as the inside goes, this thing is eventually going to have bucket seats. So I do want to get a set of energy seats, and I will do probably a quick disconnect wheel. I'm not sure on little stuff like that, just on how custom that I'm trying to go. So this, believe it or not, this is my daily. I daily this sucker. So it is a 74 Triumph 1500 Spitfire, or Spitfire 1500. I've had to go through it pretty heavily. It sat for at least 10 years before I got it, and it was my grandpa's. I've rebuilt the carburetor on it. I've had to redo the water pump. I've had to build transmission mounts for it. And then I also had to replace the valve. Sorry, people are driving by and I got distracted. I had to replace the fuel tank in it. I had to replace the fuel sender. I had to do an electric fuel pump because my mechanical went out. Also, it's carbureted, so if you ever do that, you do have to get a low pressure carbureted fuel pump. You can't just put in a high pressure fuel pump or else you're going to flood your carburetor. So did all of that. Obviously, new tires. It does need suspension love. You know, it needs some goodies, but she's really clean. It's really nice. And the inside does need a little bit, but not much. I just need to eventually go through and replace the dash. See how it's peeling up a little bit, but I eventually want to do some, like, oh goodness, just a different wood paneling dash that's newer stained and everything. But it's really nice, and it feels like a freaking go-kart. It's a blast to drive, man. But that's pretty much it for the rundown of what projects I've got going here. And like I said, the order of what they'll be going is going to be the 302 and the Ranger first. The Triumph I'll probably have some filler videos with because, again, it is my daily. Until this thing is built, that's my primary transportation. And then once this is done, that'll be the kind of an in-betweener because it's not necessarily, it still runs and drives great. It just needs a little bit. But that one's down for the count. So I would like to start trying to get a transmission for that and figure out the manual swap. I did realize I didn't show you the inside. Everything else about it is not bad. I mean, the inside is pretty decent. However, this kid's got a hold of the headliner. So for this thing, I do have a new headliner and the fabric roll to do that as well, or the foam. I've got brand new speakers all around for it. I have a brand new head unit. I have a sub and a sub box. I've got an amplifier, all that stuff. So this one I would like to eventually be the more of like a, we're going traveling and we want to take some of our dogs with us and we want to kind of camp out or something, because ultimately we can make this into a sleeper. So that's what I'm kind of thinking, is if I don't want to do the sub that's back here, make this into a sleeper area and then be able to go somewhere, camp up for a night or two, go on little road trips. And the paint is actually going to clean up really nicely too. It's just faded, but I'll do a little series on, you know, compound, polishing, and getting that all right as well. So that's pretty much all that there is that I've got going around here. Super stoked to actually get started on all of this. You know, like I said, I've got a plethora of projects, and I just haven't been able to start anything yet. It's been a challenge. So start getting this Ranger knocked out, get this thing V8 swapped, put a transmission in that bad girl, do a little tinkering on my Triumph, and eventually build me a dirt bike. It's gonna be fun. So appreciate y'all for hanging around. Hope you stick around and actually watch some of the builds and such, and take it easy.